They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair. Which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on? Tell me, which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on?
Good evening, everyone. Well, it might be good morning by now, but my name is Benjamin Berry. I'm a lifelong resident of Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm currently an organizer with the Louisville Workers Brigade. It's appropriate that you all talk about the American dream, because tonight I'm here to talk about a segment of the American nightmare that most working and oppressed people face in this country. I'm addressing the council today in support of the Shut 'em Down campaign organized by the prisoner-led prison abolition group called Jailhouse Lawyers Speak. This week has been declared the Week of Solidarity by Jailhouse Lawyers Speak and is dedicated to bring renewed awareness and activism around the prison industrial complex, which currently imprisons over 1.2 million human beings in the United States jail and prison system. As you know, the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution abolished chattel slavery, but left an exception for slavery as an imposed punishment for crime. This exemption has been utilized in the most grotesque fashion by the ruling class of this country, stripping imprisoned human beings of their dignity, isolating them from their communities, exposing them to the most horrid conditions imaginable, exploiting their existence for profit, and locking them in a vicious cycle of poverty and incarceration. This cruel treatment of human beings, this state-funded campaign of war against the most marginalized and oppressed people in our communities, has directly enriched the owning class of the U.S., the same owning class that daily exploits working people for their labor and spearheads campaigns of imperialism across the globe in search of new markets, resources, and workers to exploit. Through their political puppets of both major political parties, this ruling class has safeguarded their illegitimate existence and future on the backs of working and oppressed people, both inside and outside of correctional facilities across this country. But a new day is on the horizon. Every day, more and more working and oppressed people are coming together. They're uniting across superficial cultural and social divisions that politicians like yourselves love to use to divide working and oppressed people against each other. They are organizing unions, community cooperatives, mutual aid organizations, and yes, even prisoner collectives to fight back against the unrelenting assault waged by the owning class. Folks are breaking from the Republicans and the Democrats, finally seeing that both parties stand only for the interests of our exploiters and our oppressors. We are organizing, and we will not stop until a new society is established that will serve our class interests, meeting the needs of all working and oppressed people. Today, Louisville organizers come to address this council body, this collection of the misleaders of our city, to demand better treatment for our brothers and sisters currently imprisoned in LMDC right across the street. We demand that their humanity be recognized and that you abandon your unholy alliances with the exploiting and oppressing class to actually serve the needs of your constituents. All power to incarcerated human beings, all power to working and oppressed people.
Good evening. My name is Dalton Nolan, a resident of Louisville and organizer with the Louisville Workers Brigade. Tonight, I am addressing Metro Council in support of the Shut 'em Down campaign organized by the prisoner-led abolition group Jailhouse Lawyers Speak. In line with the goals of this campaign and in solidarity with our imprisoned brothers and sisters, I present the following petition demanding the immediate improvement of the living conditions of those imprisoned in LMDC. We, the undersigned, the working people of the greater Louisville community, along with our community allies, call upon the government of Metro Louisville to heed the cries of our suffering and imprisoned brothers and sisters, working people themselves, and demand the following actions of our local government. Number one, immediate improvements to the conditions and policies of the Louisville Metro Department of Corrections that recognizes the humanity of imprisoned persons. Number two, the funding of access to quality health care, dental care, vision care, and educational opportunities for all imprisoned human beings. Number three, the immediate end to prison slavery. All incarcerated workers must be paid the prevailing wage of the city for their labor. Number four, the immediate overhauling of the grievance process at LMDC, ensuring imprisoned human beings have a proper channel to address wrongdoing on the part of jail staff and the violations of their rights. Number five, the institution of rehabilitation programs and the expansion of parole opportunities for imprisoned humans. No human should be sentenced to death by incarceration or serve any sentence without the possibility of parole. Number 6, the immediate end to racial policing, overcharging, oversentencing, and parole denials of Black and brown human beings. Number 7, the establishment of a workers' review board with full legal powers that investigates, oversees, and prosecutes any accusations against the Louisville Metro Police Department or Louisville City government. Number 8, the immediate release of all political prisoners and those convicted of nonviolent crimes. Number 9, that all prisoners, pretrial detainees, and so-called ex-felons be given full voting rights. In a country where the state has such power over imprisoned human beings, such persons' votes and voices must be heard. Number 10, the immediate cessation of the privatization of our correctional facilities. Such institutions must be publicly funded and controlled. For-profit mechanisms and schemes must be abolished, and all imprisoned persons must be provided the essential care they are due as human beings. All power to incarcerate human beings, all power to working and oppressed people.
Hello, my name is Robert Vincent Starks, Jr. I'm a lifelong citizen of Louisville, Kentucky, a member of the Louisville Workers Brigade, and an activist standing in solidarity with the jailhouse lawyers speak as they implement their 2024 Shut 'em Down campaign. I'll start with a quote. Quote, "Status quo of our criminal legal system here in Louisville, Kentucky is killing people," unquote. Coming from the ACLU director, Amber Duke. Earlier, you heard about the intention of the Jailhouse Lawyers Speak 2024 campaign, as well as the details of prison reform petitions sponsored by the Workers Brigade. Now you may be wondering how this affects you or how you can get involved. I'd like to offer a reminder and a call to action in order to answer both questions. First, I want to acknowledge the work that's already been done through Metro Council with the Association of the ACLU of Kentucky. City has hired a new jail director. Most cells and dorms are updated, and Narcan stations were installed in every dorm. There's only a few notable selections. These are good first steps. However, during the ACLU's press conference last month, the main reason for death in LMDC is, quote unquote, neglect. In their own words, quote, "When the government chooses to incarcerate a person, it also takes on the responsibility of caring for them," unquote. Just as LMDC is guilty of neglecting our incarcerated brothers and sisters, city and state officials neglect to realize that this city and state has ties to abolition. It's in our blood. Underneath us lies the Underground Railroad. Enslaved people would flee underfoot to the Ohio, where the boats waiting to traverse the locks would literally act as a bridge to freedom. Above the shore of the Ohio, an image rests of an Olympian who reminds us of the fighting spirit inherent in every citizen you meet walking down 6th and Jefferson, or as I call it, Breeway. He also reminds us of the notable abolitionist Cassius Clay. So, in solidarity with jailhouse lawyers, I'll call on each council person to sign the petition. If you truly stand with working people of Louisville, you'll stand by this petition and implement these demands. We will always stand in firm solidarity with our incarcerated brothers and sisters, and we demand the dismantling of the for-profit system. Abolition is the mission.
This union maid was wise to the tricks of company spies. She couldn't be fooled by a company stool. She'd always organize the guys. She'd always get her way. When she struck for better pay, she'd show her card to the National Guard, and this is what she'd say. "Oh, you can't scare me. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union. I'm sticking to the union."